following is not trading advice. Everything I say is my opinion. I am not responsible for any losses you may take, only the profits. What's up, Octo Nation? It's Charlie, your host today. Today we're taking a look at Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp. We are getting in the mid to low floor on this. It's still run up a little bit, but it's still very low. This company still has not released a company they want to bring to market. However, I think they're definitely dropping some hints, and we're going to take a look at those. So stay tuned. Let's keep going here. First thing you got to take a look at. This is the new header they released. Okay. Here is the old header. You can take a look at on Wayback Time Machine, archive.org. Type it in, go to previous dates, and take a look. This one is that these are oil and gas rigs right here. Okay. So it seems to me they could have had a plan for one of these in mind at first. Maybe they just had it thrown up, right? When they were building a site, they said, hey, just put some sort of energy thing as the banner, right? But now, on purpose, they changed that header to this, the solar panel windmill play, okay? And this is riding on that green hype train. Again, I talked about that. The hype is there, grab it, ride the train, follow the money. Follow the money. If the people are hyping the green stocks, the Teslas and the Hyliions, the electric car, trucks, semis, ride it. Okay. There are tons of solar companies that are still making it through this recession that we're starting right now, and they're still going to probably be fine. Okay, because they're pitching these things that it ends up costing the homeowner nothing, and it really doesn't. They get a loan, they give them a loan for it. It ends up costing them like 30 to 60 grand or whatever, depending on the house. What they do is they just roll it into a loan for them, but at the end of the month, they're actually saving money, maybe spending a little bit, like 10 to 15 more than their loan payment. But because they're paying zero utilities, sometimes they can even make money because their utility box can actually go backwards, literally spin backwards, and the local electric companies pay them for the electricity that they make. Okay, not all the time is that going to happen. Heavy times of use, like right now in the summer, if you're in a hot place like Phoenix, you're going to be using most of your energy. But we'll try to keep it more on Spartan here. The windmill thing, I know there are some lands that are privately held across the United States that have windmills. Okay, you never know. They could be grabbing a guy that's got 3,000 acres of windmills, then bringing them to market. Imagine what that would do. I think that would just go crazy. Okay. Now let's take a look at one thing I did find, which doesn't seem like a lot at first to people, but to me it is. I built some websites to do all sorts of stuff, so I was kind of checking into the scripting of the site and all that, and I did notice that the new background header image is called Banner Home New. Okay, that might not seem like a lot, but look, these guys. The last thing these guys are going to care about is creating a new banner for their website. The only reason any of these guys in this company would have had their website builder change the header is because they wanted to switch what they were hinting about, right? These guys aren't dumb, but they're not the ones making the site either. They're not just bored and like, I'm going to change the header for the hell of it. No, this is on purpose. And the fact that it was named new tells me that this was not something that was just kind of random sitting there when they made the site and they're like, eventually we'll change it to that. No, this is something that was new that I'm sure was gone through all the board of directors. And they said, hey, let's at least, maybe we should change the header on there because oil and gas kind of has a bad name. And we're also looking at these windmill or solar panel plays or whatnot. So let's go ahead and change that. So on purpose, it's called new, which tells me that this was brought on as a new idea. When did this come out? Beginning of the year-ish. I don't have an exact date. When we go back to the time machine here, this is going back to September 11th. Let's see if it's on. Oh, yeah, it's not letting us go there. There's another way to check it. Something it might have happened in the past 4-ish months or something, when we brought this new director in. That's subjective. I haven't seen proof of it. But again, the new name in there specifies that this is on purpose that they did this. Okay. One other thing I noticed compared to the current site, and take this with a grain of salt because this might not mean anything, but this paragraph right here is not on the new site. What does that mean? Maybe nothing. It says Apollo's team possesses a broad range of transaction, financial, managerial, and investment skills. Apollo operates its business in an integrated manner, which we believe distinguishes Apollo from other alternative asset managers. Apollo's investments professionals frequently collaborate and share information across disciplines, including market insight, management, banking, and consultant contacts, as well as a potential investment opportunities. This collaboration contributes to Apollo's library of industrial knowledge, and we believe enables Apollo to invest successfully across a company's capital structure. What the heck does that mean? Most of the guys that are involved in this, the board of directors and all that, they're actually working for another company, which is, to keep it simple, it's another company that manages a bunch of other companies, right? They're kind of middlemen, smart dudes that help direct things around. The deal is what this actually tells me right here in this little added paragraph that's not on the new site, is it literally, to me, admits that they are probably going to be looking at companies that they currently manage in Apollo. Okay, if you look at the stuff that Apollo manages, they've got some crazy cool green plays, and you can dive in for a week probably taking a look and praying and hoping that maybe one of those is the one they're going to get. But it's still speculative, but I think this does kind of say something. Them taking that off, I could see why, as a business and stock market goes with those things in business. You can't mess around as far as regulations. Hinting too much can get you into some serious trouble, okay? And so the last thing they want to do is get in trouble for hinting that the exact company they're going to merge with is already managed under Apollo, and so I think they might have taken this out just to save their butt, if it ever came back on them. But I would definitely pay attention to this. To me, this literally admits that they're going to be looking at companies they already know. They probably already know the CEOs and the head board guys on all the other companies, and that they've reached out to 5 to 10 or whoever, or maybe just one. Maybe they've been going for one forever. All right, let's take a look at the management. I mean, the management, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but the management, these guys are the top dogs for whatever. I mean, BA at Stanford, this guy also got his JD from your doctorate from Harvard Law. This is the main dude. John MacWilliams. Okay, he's worked for all the U.S. Department of Energy, all sorts of energy partners. The CEO, Geoffrey Strong, kind of the same thing. I mean, look at this: Apollo Board of Directors for Apex Energy, Apollo Royalties, Kalias Energy, an oil and gas company. But again, it looks like they're switching off the oil and gas, so I think they got a couple in mind. But I mean, tons here. When you go down, the management does the same. This John guy, he was in it first, then he left. Then they brought in 2 new people, and then those people now left, and now John is back as the lead dog of the thing. So I think there's always some, there could be some drama, maybe some misunderstandings, or just not agreeing with one another. And so those other 2 people are gone. You could take a look. I also found in the SEC filing that John, he makes money. He made $75,000 cash retainer, and that just means, hey, we're gonna give you $75,000 to start. You'll do some work for us, is basically what that means. But it also says, in addition, he will be reimbursed for any out-of-pocket expenses incurred in connection with the activities on the company's behalf, such as identifying potential targets or performing due diligence on sustainable business combinations. So this means this guy got paid 75 G's up front as a retainer, even though it's not really a retainer because he's also getting paid more. But however you want to look at it, that's cool. I have no problem with people making money for what they do. Okay, as long as they can provide that money right back in X multipliers, if we can. And so basically what I'm getting at is he got 75 grand. He did his thing. He got out. There was some drama. They kicked those guys out, and now he's back. And so you know that he is looking for some more reimbursement or out-of-pocket expenses, which is cool. If this is the Mac dog we need, MacWilliams, we're going to pay you, okay? That's great. He was also given 75,000 shares, okay? Basically given at that amount per share, okay? Like 100th of a penny per share. So he's basically given 75,000 shares. Cool. So that's another little piece there. He's still going to get paid for whatever he's doing now. And, this guy is not someone, these aren't people that are going to mess around, all right? I brought up their extension. I just want to note that the guess is that if they do have a company they're going to merge with, they can give a little hint and say, hey, we got a company that we're looking to sign with, okay? And they're going to announce that with a press release, usually. And when that comes out, the stocks really like to jump, okay? Because it's considered a letter of intent, a pending letter of intent that these guys are going to try to do with one of these random energy greeny plays, is what we're guessing. Now, I said they only have till August to do this merger. Now, if they announce this company that they're going to merge with, okay, then they are going to probably do what's called an extension, okay? They have to have the shareholders vote on it, all right? And they basically say, hey, we only have till August. Does everyone agree that we should have another 3 months or 2 months so we can complete this deal? Of course, all the shareholders are going to say, heck yeah, yes, two months longer, get the deal done, right? So as long as they have someone and they do announce it before their deadline, we're good. Now, there is still significant risk on this, obviously, because they haven't even announced the company yet. But fingers are pointing to the fact they have, but they can only say so much before certain negotiations and some contracts have already been signed. And I'm sure this is a funky time to try to get a bunch of people together to sign some papers. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the stocks, actually, the tickers here. This is the common share. How we're going to read this, is bubbling around 10, as always. With new SPACs, this one actually started at like 9.59, Anyways, it's had some casual write-up. It started getting some hype around the 25th of June. Did a little bumpy bumps, went up about went up about 5%, not much. This is nothing. I mean, again, the floor on this stock is probably going to be, around $10.30, $10.50. I'd say closer to $10.30. So, even if you bought here, they didn't end up getting a company, you're still going to have a floor. In other words, your shares are still going to be worth $10 plus ish, no matter what. So, super safe investment if you invest in these. Still totally speculative though, because they could not find anyone. You could go from 1085 buying in to down to 1020. But your worst case scenario, you're going to lose what, 5-10%. That's fantastic for the stock market or any investment there. As for patterns, this might be a bull flag. There's not a lot of volumes on these to really put much, but technically that kind of does look like a flag. Let's just call it a flag. There you go. Kind of an angle. Not really though. This is kind of straight. I mean, you could put another. I guess we could put another. Here, you want a flag? There we go. More like that. But still kind of funky looking, but kind of does look like a bull flag. I'd watch this. Personally, I'm going to put in an order probably, if it breaks this trend, chances are it's going to keep going up. If it breaks a trend a millisecond or, a couple pennies over, not really, but if it breaks it, in this case, 5-10%, it's probably going to keep going up a little bit. Probably right around 12. I'd say it could get to 12 before they announce. When they announce, it'll probably shoot to 15 to 20-ish. Who knows? Depends what they announce. So I'm going to put an order in probably around 1090-ish. So that way, if it does break, hits 1090. If it hits 1090, it's probably going to go to 12. If it hits 12, if it hits 13, it's probably going to 15, right? So 12 is kind of the run up before high's going to get, unless there's some real letter of intent stuff. The warrant side of this, we just kind of got a pendant here, is what this is called, kind of. You can even rise this baby up. This one did hit 220-ish, 219, 218. It is sitting at 171. Again, you could ride this and, put an order in about $1.90, I'd say, to be safe. And again, the reason you do this is the last thing you want is to buy in here and 1 minute later, someone dumps $1 million worth of shares, 100,000, 50,000 worth of shares, and it goes down, 20, 30 cents. You're gonna be pissed. That can still happen again if it comes up here and tags this, but chances are if it tags up here, breaks the trend, gets out of here, gets out of this little consolidation, tight little wannabe pipe that's going on, a little sewer pipe here, it's probably going to keep going. How high? Could go to 220-ish, maybe 280 before they announce it. If they announce it. When it does announce it, who knows? Sky's the limit, right? The units, those just aren't looking like a decent deal right now. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they're like a third of a warrant comes with these. Doesn't say it, but the units come with a regular common share, and then they're usually going to come with like a third or a fourth of a warrant. Sometimes you can, if you do the math, you can end up ahead with these, but right now doing the math doesn't make sense. I would just, if you want the commons and the warrants, which is, a smarter investor way to do it, I would just get both right now. Mostly the commons, because it is still totally sketchy right now. And then some warrants, maybe 20%, whatever you have allocated towards this speculative play. If you're going to do it, I'd probably do, 80% commons, 20% warrants. The warrants, again, you'll make your money way faster, but it's way riskier, because if they never find a company and the company goes under, you're left with $0. But the commons, you're left with $10 plus at the floor, no matter what. So totally safer. After they announce, though, you can put a little bit more into the warrants if you can catch it before it skies. All right, everybody. I'm gonna start trying to do emergency videos. I'm gonna have to put them up live, because it takes way too long to upload to the tube and all that, and to process the videos. So I'm going to try to get doing some live stuff when some new filings come up that I think are worth noting, so we can try to catch things before they sky. And when that happens, it's usually hours later after these filings are released that stuff starts heading totally north. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, that way you get a notification, and hit that bell. That way it does send you a little text or notification on your phone or desktop there. And if you have any other SPACs or other stocks, not necessarily a total SPAC guy whatsoever, that's where my head's at right now. I'm into these SPACs. It's just never ending. It's sucking me in. Okay. Put that down in the comments. What kind of plays you working on right now? Any you want me to look at? I will take a look. Let's see what we got. Let's all make some money. That's why we're all here. If you can, hit the like button. That does help me out, and just help me get ranked. That way we can build this community up, because the more people we have commenting on this, and the more people we have into all these weird little beginning companies that we're taking a look at, the better it can be for all of us. Because as long as we're all playing it kind of the same, being bulls, the more bulls the better. The higher it's going to go. So All right, y'all. Thanks again. You have a good weekend, and God bless.